Good afternoon, everybody. I just wait till viewers come online. And to those who are watching, which is right now no one, my name is Shamanda Owens, and I'll be talking to you about Black women, African women studies. I see I have two. We'll wait for a couple more people to come on board. And for those that's just tuning in, I am Shamanda Owens, coming live from Pt1 University. I'm talking about African and Black women that are forgotten in history, but I'm gonna give you a rundown of that in just a little bit. Tell you the university motto and what I will be teaching in the up and coming weeks. You also can check out this on YouTube at Pt1 University online, and I'm gonna have a technical difficulty with that, but it should be up and running in just a little bit. Hey, Miss Lisa. Okay, this is the first day for Pt1 University to be open. The motto is building stronger minds. The mission statement is to provide quality education for Black African people, also building skills, knowledge to be for a better life, to make people lifelong learners. We know that's a problem within our community. We learn something, then we forget it. We just learn to take a test for whatever reason, and then we forget what we learned. So we want to build you and others, especially you, to become lifelong learners. We want to enhance your interest in the program. And hopefully when we roll it back out and when classes start, that you'll look online and see something that interests you, or somebody in your family. So tell somebody. We want to provide support, certifications, and life skills to different people. And so that's the Pt1 University online model. And I thank you for tuning in. And once again, if you missed who I was, I am Shamanda Owens. I'm going to talk to you about Black African women study. A lot of time we're forgotten in history. Who is the woman behind the man? What did they do? And what agenda did they have? Everybody's looking at Michelle Obama, and they forget that she did the food initiative program. She did a lot of volunteer work. She did the get up and move work. So who is Michelle Obama without Obama? Like, what does she do? Like, what is her mark in history? The ages will be 18 and up, different trades and everything like that. So once again, I'm Shamanda, and it's a lot of Black women who change history that is left out. Like I said, the woman behind the man. One woman in particular who's left out is Fannie Lou Hamer. She was very instrumental in the civil rights movement and voting rights, fighting for African and Black rights during the civil rights time. We also had at that time period Dorothy Heights, who fought for racial equality. And she's not really mentioned in the Eyes on the Prize. She's not mentioned in the history books. And to back that up, a lot of these people are not mentioned in history books. I'm telling our history, and it's not to discredit the men, but it's just that for so long that women, we've been left out of history, and we haven't got to tell our story. And I'm here to tell my story, our history. And you'll see my co-worker, Dr. Amy Jen. She's going to tell about the rites of passage for Black women. And you're going to have a lot more class to choose from. So a lot of people don't know, in particular, Dr. Betty Shabazz, who was Malcolm X's wife. When he got killed, she was pregnant with twins. And the history don't tell you that. And so they left her with 6 girls. And when she was raising 6 girls, she went on to school to become a doctor, to get her degree. She never stopped learning, because the circumstance made her a single mother. Her story is sometimes untold. You also have Coretta Scott King, who was implement in getting the statues, books for Black kids to be read, and she did her own thing as well. And I'm just giving you the top of the thing, and I'll dive more deeper into these topics once the classes start. We also had Satima Poinsett Clark. She was in the civil rights movement. She did a lot of literacy workshops, building people up. She implemented and getting a lot of people literacy rates up so they could take the voting test. The voting test, which you had to take, is called a literacy test in order to vote. And so she did these workshops that taught reading and fundamentals to be able to score high so you can vote. Also, you had Claudette Corbin. We heard of Rosa Parks, where she was a young teenager that happened 9 months before Rosa. She refused to give her seat, and because she was young, the Montgomery Bob Cott didn't start at that time. And she has a book out. Her story is a lot of times left out. It's untold, but before Rosa, she was there. And I'm gonna dive deeper in the story. You also have Bessie Coleman. She was the first female pilot, a black pilot. And that's unheard of for like a woman back in the days. Normally you heard about the Tuskegee Airmen, but a lot of time they leave out Bessie. And so in my class, once again, it's about black African women who were forgotten in history. We're going to be doing book studies. And one of the books that I'm going to be talking about is Sojourner for Freedom. And it's about Sojourner Truth. And also at the end of the Dark Street, Body and Soul, and Arrested Justice. And so those are some of the book topics that we will be studying in my class. And so once again, I'm Shamanda Owens, Professor Shamanda Owens. And so I hope once everything roll out that you'll be joining me. And once again, if you missed the mission and the motto of Shabazz University, it was building stronger minds. We take for granted, what people tell us. We learned about Lincoln in elementary school. We had these Lincoln programs, and we learned that Lincoln freed the slaves, and they tell you nothing else, that he didn't care whether he freed the slaves or not. He just wanted to satisfy both the North and the South. And so this is a university that's going to tell you the truth. We're going to dig deeper and go into a lot of topics with this university. We're going to try to give you a lot of skills that you can use. Like I said, become lifelong learners. Tell you the right side of history. Tell you what the history books and schools don't tell you. I am a public high school teacher, and so I know a lot of stuff is left out of history, and it's up to the individual teacher to make the curriculum and to incorporate Black history within. Everybody think that you celebrate Black history in high schools, and it's so much stuff in public education that you do not have time to teach Black history. Yes, it's a month long, but with all these state tests coming up, and for each state, the state is called the end of course exam, EOC, you rarely have time to teach children their history. And sometimes white teachers can't teach it because they don't know how to be culturally sensitive, and they just rake over it. And then when they teach about slavery, they make the kids feel so bad, or the kids get really angry. And so a lot of people try to steer away from it. And also in history, it doesn't tell you about the African queens and kings. And they teach our kids that they're white. When they redo the movie, to them, they don't care because they don't know they was kings and queens and princesses and princes. Because when the movie roll out, they're all white. It's an all-white cast talking about Africa. How dare they talk about Africa and not even put Black people in the movie? It was we talk about queens in Hawaii. The last monarch in Hawaii, she was a Black female. And so that's one thing that I'm trying to instill and talk about and dig deeper in the Black women in history, Black African women in history class. And so I hope that you'll join me on this journey and buy some of the books. You can look it up on the website, and that you'll join me discussing this, talking about this. Ask me questions that I'll be willing to answer. If I can't answer, I'll find the answer to answer your question. And so once again, I'm Shamanda Owens, and I'll be talking in detail, more in depth about African Black women in history, the forgotten story. And so until then, I will see you every Saturday at 5 Eastern Time and 4 p.m. Central Time. I'll be online. And so I hope that you look me up and that you're interested in my class. Please look at the syllabus, read it. I'm going to be boosting literacy rates, having studies sessions, basically the basic skills, reading, assessing, synthesizing, critiquing, some of those skills that young youth need to know. raising the DOK level, and just discussing, digging deep, and thinking outside the box and coming up with a game plan to make you a lifelong learner, to make you a historian, think like a historian, and to also let you be able to do research and to tell your own story and to find out different topics. And so until next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 4 p.m. Central Time, I see you then. Signing off, Professor Shamanda Owens. Bye. Thanks.